for many people I have seen in my organization as well, like I have
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
explained them, but they
Because while you're creating code, there will be no interlink between any replication controller or anything, right? So if you create a replication controller, or if you deploy your application with deployment config, controller will automatically will bring up your code if the code will be down. That is the job of our replication controller. So let me try to understand right now. Um, think about, as you all are Linux admin, you are not dealing with any application related issue. That means you are not able to, you never did any time how to deploy application on the Linux machine. You just deploy your VM, you're just creating a VM, you're doing all provisioning the VM, installing everything, and hand over to the customer. The customer is trying to deploy the application, everything, right? So those things customer will do. But in Kubernetes and OpenShift environment, you have to do everything, right? Suppose if I ask you a question, hey, can you please deploy a Apache server? Then what are the steps I should do? First, I need to install package, right? The package is nothing but in Kubernetes you can say Docker image. After you install package, then I'll go get into my configuration file. I go on edit the configuration file. I reset the service. Those everything you have to put all the requirement in the Docker file. Just your Docker image is created. That means if anybody start my container, automatically my application will be start, and automatically it will create some of the configurations. Everything it will do, right? So that is the container. You build everything, all the packages, the configuration file, or related application related file. Everything will be you created in the your container. So what is the next right now? So in Docker, if you directly deploy into your Kubernetes with a single port without any, if you are not taking any advantages of a Kubernetes, then that is your mistake, right? That means I will make sure I will tell to the customer, even you have single port, if port went down, automatical replication controller will be recreated if you are using deployment config file. If you are link your application to replication controller, those benefit you will also get even if you have a single port. So, but if you directly deploy your application without interlink between replication controller, then that benefit you will not get it from there, right? And this is a process will not help you to deploy in production, right? So that is what, we should learn little bit about, guys. What is replication controller? Why do we need replication controller in Kubernetes or orchestration platform? As I told you, controller is responsible for go and monitor your application. He will check, make sure you should have that many replicas should be there. Make sure your node will be registered. If applications are down, controller will try to recreate again. That is the job of replication controller. So in this class, and also I told you, the controller are the brain behind Kubernetes. So they are process that monitor Kubernetes object and respond accordingly. If you mention my application replica 2, that means the replication controller desired state, always you will think you should always do. That means if one port down, automatically he will recreate the port. You will also see the live demo after complete the theory part, right? So the next, if I go over your next slide, the you can see over here. Last time you have deployed one, you have one worker node, and you have created the small the pod you created, and the pod does not have any replication controller. You have single pod without any replica, without any interlink between replication controller. So if one pod goes down, what will happen? You can, an end user cannot access, or if this one pod down, your container will not create automatic because you have not linked any replication controller. So what replication controller will give? Replication controller will give you the high availability. That means if you mention two replica, that replication controller will combine these two pods together. So it will give replication. I have two pods. Any data, if two packets will come, the first will go to pod 1, second will go to pod, second pod will go. When one pod goes down, so automatically he will recreate your pod again, right? So automatically he will recreate your pod. So we will see the live demo how it works, right? So if I ask you a question, what is the replica? Why do we need a replica controller? So let us go our first scenario where we had a single pod running our application, and what if for some reason our application will be crashed? That means my pod will fail. That means the user will no longer be able to access our application, right? So to prevent user losing access to our application, you require somebody should monitor my application. Somebody should be help you automatically bring off my application. That is nothing but replication controller. Replication controller will help you to monitor your application. If at all anytime my pod will crash, automatically it will recreate your pod. So always while you deploy your application, you should create a replication controller. How do we create replication controller? Automatically, if you use deployment config file, automatic replication controller also it will be here. So let us see how it will help, guys. So replication controller also control help holds for multiple instance of single pod. So multiple instance means if you see over here, I have the web application. I have the web application. I created one Apache application hosting 4 replica. When you create a 4 replica, I have 2 worker node 1 and node 2. So what replication controller will do? Replication controller will combine all 4 together. So whatever traffic will come, the traffic will divided to all 4 pods, and replication controller will always control. He will check, make sure always I should have 4 pods, right? So because of this, it will be load balancing and scaling your application. So that is, guys, the beauty product of replication controller. And the replication controller will also need to be enabled each and every application. So there are 2 type of replication controller in right now. The first thing you can call replication controller, and the second one is you can call replica set. So what does means replica set and replication controller? That means replication controller and replica set both have the same purpose, but they are not same. Okay. Initial in 1.13 version of Kubernetes, they have configured deployment config. The deployment config will be there. So if you use deployment config, automatical controller will be created for replication controller. But now the deployment config will be replaced with deployment. So when you configure deployment, the replica will be created for replica set. Okay. So let me create little the diagram. So, but however, guys, both will give you same function, and but right now little they have removed the deployment config, that will replace with deployment, and the controller will change replication controller and replica set. So let me summarize what exactly I have discussed. Let me create one document. Then I will give your answer if you have any questions. So let me repeat my end. So if anybody asks you a question, what is how do I deploy my application? So I can say Let me create one. Fine. So, so deployment to deploy the application. So how do I do deploy? If I first I have learned with pod because pod has some issues. So the next I should go the next deployment. So two type of deployment. The first will be our deployment will be there. Okay, and the deployment is nothing but what is. There are two types. Deployment will be there and deployment configuration. Deployment configuration will be there. So what is deployment? So if I say that deployment is nothing but your definition of your application, so I'll say deployment is nothing but deployment of your, or I can say definition of your application. That is called this. But initially, when I deploy application through pod, I do not have any configuration file. If you do not have a configuration file, how will you be able to change if anything problem? So that is what you should go the high level configuration deploy application through deployment. Okay, that is fine. Fair enough. So if you're configuring so deployment, so that means I can say definition of your file. What does means? I'll say that means inside the deployment configuration file, image will be there. Each image you are planning to use. Plus, are you using storage? So yes, storage details will be also there. So plus, it will also there. Okay, how many number of replica you're doing? Are you using 2, 3, 4? That information also you have to deploy. And also some environment file will be there. Environment means whether are you using any username, password, or configuration file. Some kind of environment variable also you're defining, or some kind of security. So those is nothing but your whole about a deployment, right? So deployment will be linking to replica set. Okay, a
So those, I
secret
think
config map.
also we can add CPU RAM, like how much
Yes,
you
yes.
wanted to allocate.
Exactly. So CPU, good things. So CPU and so memory details also is nothing but define definition.
how about networking?
Networking
No,
don't require.
networking is by default, allocated by the Kubernetes, the pod network which we already allocated it, right? From there, it will assign IP for that particular pod.
And
Okay.
you just define secret or config map, those information. This secret config map is nothing but your environment. Okay, so this is guys definition, right? So initially when I deploy my application through pod, I have not declared images. I have declared only images, right? So, but definition configuration, deployment configuration file is nothing but definition of your application. It should be there. Which image you are using. Anytime you can go and change your image, storage, replica, environment, security, how much secure memory you are planning to using, and what is the secret and config. These all informations are available deployment. That is called your deployment configuration file. So whenever you configuring deployment, right, automatically it will create one controller. So deployment will create one deployment controller. It will create one deployment controller. The deployment controller is nothing but if you are using deployment, it will create a controller name is called replica set. If you are using deployment, the deployment will create a controller that is called replica set, which is the latest replica set for your Kubernetes 1.18 version. So you should use always deployment, not deployment. Deployment configuration will be already they have removed and they are replaced with deployment. But in older version, the controller name will be, you can say, replication controller. That name is called replication controller. Okay, and the shortcut you can call RC, which stands for replication controller. Right? This is nothing but our replication. This is nothing but our replication. Got the point? So that is what guys, the replication controller will help you to doing these other. So if anybody asks a question, what is the difference between replication controller and replica set, you just need to be explained, you just need to be tell. So there are two type of the deployment config file. One is called deployment and deployment config, and the deployment is the new tools to deploy your application in the latest version. They have removed deployment config right now, but if you are using deployment, the replication controller, the name is called replica set, and if you are using deployment config file, that name will be replication controller. Both are same, both have a same function, right? Nothing changes. But right now we are dealing with replica set. So how do you check replica set? How do I check how many deployment config file there in my server, right? So if I just try to switch to kubectl get deployment on which project, let me go inside kube-system. So I can see here one deployment config file is the core DNS, right? So how many are there? Disaster here two will be there, right? So always you will see when you run OC get port, so that is what it's showing core DNS2. Always it will say 2 will be always will be there because the disaster will 2. Suppose if you delete one port, what will happen? Automatically it will create again one more port. Always he will think I do not know, I need always, I should have a 2 because the replication controller will take. So if I am using, if you are using deployment, so what is the replication controller name? So if I go to the document that I have written, okay, if you are using deployment, that name is called replica set. How to check the replica set? Just you run a command kubectl get replica set, I think rs, okay, let me see cube5 and system. So you can see guys, replica set will be there. The replica set that will be linked to your deployment file, right? So here also true. So next you should have a true. You can also run a command called instead of s, right? You can go for replica set, right? So replica set also you
Hello,
can do.
Santosh.
What the
Here in the
fine?
output, the kubectl get ports all hyphen all namespaces. If I see there are many in the kube system, there are many ports that are there, right? So when you executed the next command for get deployments hyphen and kube system, it just shows only core DNS. Why?
Okay. Why? Because do you think only deploying application project only deployment way? You ask question called demonstrate. You have inform called stateful set. You told there is a process called deployment called through static port, right? So they have, if you just run a command called kubectl get all hyphen n kube system, so you will see here for this port they have used for deployment kube proxy, they have configure called demonstrate, and this is a direct port, that is fine. And which one for the core DNS? This one. What is there? Is it clear, right? And these, it's our node there, right? These are the static port guys. So you're seeing here nothing is there. How this port is created? How this port is created? So if you just do cd slash etc kubernetes manifest file, hit enter. So there will be all static files are there. Are you seeing over here? What the point? So these are things. So don't worry, slowly you will understand. So there are different way to deploy the application. Doesn't mean that you should go to deployment. Demonstrate, because the why demonstrate is required for this case, right? What is the use of static port? So this is
No.
the
I
direct
just
port.
got
You will
baffled
see those things, right? Don't worry.
because we this is regarding to the core DNS, right? So I just thought like why core DNS two
Yeah,
pods are
yes.
coming in the cube system, like
Why not? Why not? It's showing
something.
etc. Why it's not showing?
Yes,
exactly.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
if you
Okay.
see those things they have deployed through static port, and if you see Q proxy, they have configured through demonstrate. So that is what if I our first class I have seen here written over here. Not this one. Yeah. Where I have created one document, written something. No? Okay. I have missed that one. I'll see that one. Somewhere I said that fine. So initially I have told you how many types of deployment, replica set, code, deployment, demon set, right? So slowly you will understand each and everything. Guys, where I have created the code, something I have created, right?
I think you have the other notepad.
Is it not there?
No, it's already open, I guess. I think, can you check? It's already open. I think.
That's fine. I need to check. That's fine. So let's see. So where I am, I written somewhere else. Okay. So everybody clear what is
Since
deployment?
yeah, just wanted to clarify. Since those core DNS is a part of a deployment, that's why it's just showing a deployment. Those two
Yes, yes.
deployment, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, got it.
exactly.
Thanks.
Okay. So and whenever so the core DNS deployment file, and also you have seen that controller name will be replica set, not replication controller. Okay. So to check replication controller, the command will be kubectl get RSS. RSS stands for replica set. So to check deployment, you have to run a command called kubectl get deployment. Right? Okay, excellent. So let's see our again next thing. So try to understand a little more about the things. So here list of label, that's fine. That will see later. How do you scale? So let's see how the deployment will work, right? So I told you why you should go deployment, right? Now if you see this diagram, you look it over here, you have created the core, right? So when you mention deployment, deployment will be created controller name is called replica set. Replica set will hold all your container. Okay, so and there are number of containers are the number of containers are running right now. One second.
So you on the from the email, you want to say that replica set having many pod, right?
Many
And
pod, yeah.
deployment is controlling the replica set here. With the help of deployment, we do replica set. I want to say.
Yes.
Correct
Second,
me.
I'm just
With
putting
the
this in
correct me if
chat.
I'm wrong.
1 second. So can someone will be correct? If, and just give me 1 second. I'll put it. Connect my charger. I think.
I believe yes. But one thing I just want to know if
Was it Sahil asking that question?
No,
I
it's Mrunal.
yes me
Mrunali.
only.
Mrinal, okay. So basically, see what deployment file would going to have it your configuration details about the application which you are going to run, right? So for example, you are going to run MySQL. Which port you are going to use to connect your MySQL DB? That is one example, right? So that configuration details you going to specify in the deployment configuration file saying, okay, I'm going to use port 80 to connect MySQL,
No, that
and
is a
you
yeah,
just
yeah, I got that point. Like
yeah.
it's the definition of the application, including
Mhm.
all of this stuff. My question here was specifically related to who controls it. Is it a scheduler service who controls this thing, or is it some other service that controls this thing?
Okay.
Deployment is
So
deployment.
okay, let me give. Okay. So in your master, there are I told you scheduler. Okay. The scheduler will only tell your code will go to the node, but replica controller will help you to tracking the your port where this port should go to in this node, make sure that port should running stays. Okay, there will be one special diagram will be there. I will show you that one how it the floor of your application. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
let
asked
me
question
show you that
because
one.
as you said, the replica set has been scaled to a worker node as well, right? When you mentioned that a replica set having multiple pods, and you once showed one diagram, right? So I just
Exactly,
wanted to
exactly.
understand from the worker perspective, what is that service that is communicating? Is it a kube proxy or is it a kubelet service that is talking to which service on the master server?
Okay, so client side, if the worker node want to talk to master, always the kubelet. I already informed you that kubelet service will responsible for that one. But the customer, how the container communication, those will be taken care through kube proxy.
Okay, and the kubectl and the kubelet will also talk with the container to spin up the pods.
Yes,
Am I right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So
So
kube proxy
kubectl
taking
talk
taking care of
to
the networking part for the replication set here, and also communicating with the API server to get the information from the scheduler service.
yeah.
Okay. Great.
So I just wanted to, okay, before going to that diagram, let me try to finish the deployment config file, and then I will go to the beautiful diagram will be the, which will have a clear trail that I can show you the flow of when you say I need that much replica, how it will go very soon.
Sorry for stretching it long. I just wanted to understand like which daemons are
Yeah,
communicating
that's
from worker
fine.
end. Yeah,
You should
I'm
clear
sorry
the
for that.
doubt, guys. No worry. I am happy to give you answer. Okay, that's fine. This I have got this diagram. Thankful. So let's I'll go to this diagram after complete my this part. Okay. So, guys, this is our deployment will be there, and you can see here a number of applications running with the version 1 and version 2. Everything's running fine. So what will happens, how the rollback will happen, right? Suppose for example, you have the port which use the image version called v1. Okay, and you want to change the version to v1 to v2. How it will happen? How to do that one? Which is changing the version. So that means you are upgrade your application. So that means when you upgrade your instance, you do not want to upgrade all of them at a time, right? So this will be controller. How the replication controller will do? Whenever you upgrade, he will do upgrade one pod at a time. If one this pod is upgraded successfully, then he will go to the next pod, right? Those things will be there. So we will go through that one. So there are two type of rolling will be there. First one, rolling upgrade will be there. So how the rolling upgrade will happen to your part? Okay, let me see now. Okay, so let me show you guys how it work over here. For example, if you mention you have one container. Let me create one diagram. Okay, so what will happen if you have small, you have a free replica you have, okay, and you have created one more replica, and you create also one more core, right? And here the replication controller will be come to the picture. So this I can say mine, the replication controller. I can say replica set. Okay, and will be all will be the our deployment will be there. This is our deployment config file. So this is my deployment config file. Now this port is have the version call. For example, you have the port name called nginx.
Is
The
it not the
version.
deployment, just the deployment, not deployment config, right?
Sorry, sorry. Mistake. Let me delete. Okay, you just think now deployment. Okay. Um,
Yeah, you need to place the starting of the text box to go on the next.
yes. So okay, so now you can see here I have the Nginx version 1.5 only there, and this Nginx port also I have 1.5 will be there. Okay. Now you want to upgrade your application. So you want to upgrade to 1.6 you want to upgrade. So how exactly it will do? So first of all, uh, it will be interlink. First, it will create two replica. Here I'll just do small box. Then replication set will be there. Uh, then it will just first. So how it will upgrade your cluster? You know, guys. The first it will try to your upgrade now. So by default, the deployment will be rolling. Will be the upgrade name will be rolling. Upgrade name will be rolling upgrade. What is meaning of the rolling upgrade? Rolling upgrade means at a time one will do. So first, and this rolling upgrade will be there will be no downtime, guys. What exactly it will do? First of all, it will try to create one more code with 1.6 version. After I create 1.6 version, the 1.5 will be we will try to terminate it. This will be terminating. Okay, so how it will terminate? This will be we will try to delete this one. Okay, once this is success, once this is a success, uh, so once this is the success, right? It will try to create one more container with because we have mentioned multiple replica, right? So it will try to create one more the version which is called 1.6 1.6. So if 1.6 once this is success, what will say all replica that all replica this trying to delay, right? Same like a different way also it will try to create. So the version called 1.6 again you just create a 1.6 version. So again after it will success this code. Once this code is a success, once this code is a success, uh, once this code is success, guys, on this code is a success, it will try to delete this one. Once this will be come up, it will try to delete this one. So this process is nothing but rolling upgrade. This process is nothing but you can say rolling upgrade. And by default in OpenShift or Kubernetes, both are using default behavior of deployment on the deployment or deployment conflict. Both are using default behavior called rolling upgrade. Got the
So
point?
for this, any downtime is required
That is
or
no. You tell me. Is it downtime required for you?
no? I
No,
don't.
right? Because first you will try to suppose, for example, some case 1.6 image is not available. Okay, you have mentioned upgrade will be 1.6 and 1.6 image is not there. So first you will try to create this port. If this port is not success, right? So it will not impact anything. He will not delete this one. It will be like this. So your code will fail. He'll say that it will not get. It will hang only. The deployment will be hanged. Then you need to fix and roll out back to your original state. So that this process is nothing but, guys, rolling upgrade will be there.
Okay.
This is very simple, guys, and it's very easy. There is one more called strategy will be deployment strategy will be there. So that will be how it will be told. First it will try to delete the existing port and then it will try to create a new pod that will require a downtime. So you no need to go to that one. So because first he will try to destroy everything, then it will try to recreate. So always you should go for, guys, the rolling upgrade also. Okay, so hopefully this will be clear your diagram. So I just wanted to show you one more diagram which they ask question like whenever you deploy, how it will go, who is calling, right? So if you see this diagram, first end user, suppose you have run one command called create an application with multiple replica equal to 3. Now this command you cannot use in lattice replica while you're creating port. You should go for my deployment definition file. So this will fail. That's fine. You're creating three replica, nginx for your current free port. So first, when you mention replica, this request will go to, first it will go to API server. You hit this command, the command received by API server. So what will happen next? API server obviously he will say, okay, when customer want to deploy, can you please update your database? So first, second phase what we'll do, we'll say, okay, this deployment is happening, I want to update etcd. So etcd will first keep one deployment file. Okay, deployment is happening over here. Next, what we'll do, guys, since you have mentioned replica, API server, next it will call to controller. So controller will be managed through the API server identify its workload and create a replica set. So again, API server will first will create a one replica set your application. So three replica set will try to create. Okay, and API server will inform, yes, I have done my job. Can you please update etcd? So this information will again updated on the etcd key paid value. etcd will create a table and keep all the data information. What will have second, that means still replica set code will be still pending only. So if you see here next, your code is pending because who will going to deploy? So next will come, oh, your code is deployed, let me identify what is my resource available. So scheduler, what scheduler will do, scheduler will try to identify those information. He will say replica set create a required number of port and updated etcd. So replica set will say, okay, I have created three replica, but because the customer mentioned replica equal to 3, so 3 port will updated etcd. So etcd will say, okay, you have done your job. The API server will call, your port is still pending, let me call to scheduler. So scheduler will come to the picture. Scheduler will be identified the workload through API server and decide which node is responsible. That means if you have a replica, multiple node, he will send those requests. So that is what, in this state, the port are assigned to the node. So scheduler will identify, he will say, yes, I have 2 nodes are available in my server. Please reach out to your captain. So API server will try to reach out to the node captain over here, kubelet. So what exactly he will do? The API server will try to inform through one of the worker node, the kubelet. So kubelet is highlighted over here. So the information received from API server, right, through kubelet. So kubelet will say, okay, I got a request from API server to host a workload on my worker node. So what will happen? So kubelet, what kubelet will do again? So kubelet will see, because kubelet cannot deploy application, right? So kubelet will talk to the kubelet instruction and the Docker daemon. So he will inform the Docker, hey, can you please deploy this application and create a port? Because I have mentioned 3, since I have 2 worker node, first it will create a 2 port, and here it will create a 1 more port. That means whenever kubelet will create a port, again kubelet will inform to API server. He will say that, hey, I am going to creating now, so please update in information, right? So once pod are created, run kubelet. So kubelet again will be informed to the API server what is the status of the port. So once the pod is running stage, once my pod is running, the kubelet will inform to API, will say, I have successfully configured, please update your database. So the database it will show, before it was saying pending. It was saying pending, right? Before it was a pending. Slab mean he got a host name. This no slab 1, slab first he will send slab 0, second he will send slab 2. Why it's coming again slab 1? Because I have two nodes. I don't have one more node. If you have one more node, he will send the traffic to slab 03. Slab is nothing but your host name. So here identified everything. He got the node name. So next, what exactly he will try to creating the port. That is the creating stage will be there. So creating will take little time to up to running stage. So once the code is successfully running, those information will be updated. So always kubelet will be informed. He will say, okay, first creating. Let me update status to TCD. First will be identify the workload. Second will be creating. Third will be guys, it will go to running stages. So finally, once it's running stages, then your job is done, right? This is nothing but guys, how in the backend it's working your master cluster, right? Which is responsible for which service. Kubelet is a captain of work node. He will take instruction for API server and deploy your application. This fall behind of your whenever you hit one command. So those are the responsible for your master node.
Is your kube proxy missing somewhere?
So kube proxy that will comes this because we are not dealing with the networking part. So kube proxy always once the port is created, automatically the IP address and the SBC IP, the endpoint, everything will display the kube proxy, right? Hmm. Mm-hmm. Two, yeah. Then it, yeah, that exactly. That will be decided by scheduler only. We will check which node has the free space is available, right? So he will send it to that node. And this is round robin only. And so if you have a file, you don't think that your code will go to 1, 2, 3 only, right? So it might be three different nodes. It may be 4, 5, 3, whatever. So this will decided. You can't decide. That will decided by scheduler itself, because he will go and see whether this workload is fit my work node or not. Fit. That means you will go and check whether your compute CPU memory is there available or not. If it is available, I'll say come to my node. I will deploy. Right. That is behind will be taken care by guys scheduler. So this
So,
whole about one by one, one by one, one by one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, so if you have three worker node, so replica he will try to give replica always he will send three node only, one, two, three only. No, no, no. Like this will be the round robin fashion it will go. Okay. Yes, yes, yes.
so one more study there. 3-4 day
And
clip. Hello.
yes, tell me.
Sir, can you show that diagram again? Ah, yeah, this one. So 3 port is there. So this 3 port is communicating with each other, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And one more thing. So here we created two namespace or in single namespace.
No, no, no. Why two namespace? Single namespace you have replica, your project, no. So single project only you have replica. He will not go for any other project. Same project, multiple replica will create with multiple node.
Okay. So this three, whatever data is coming, suppose it's the DB only. So whatever is coming, all is means updating in 3 ports, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So whatever data, those things will be your application data will be stored in the storage side, right? Don't worry those things. There will be some special chapter will be there persistent storage. The data will come to the pixel. Now you just need to be clear. Whenever you hit this command, now interview the last question. If I run this command, how? Because this I got questions when I attend interview. They asked me a question whenever I hit this command, how it code. where this IP is getting updated, how this port is trying to reach out to the container, right? How come those things you need to be explained, because if you understand this particular diagram, you obviously, hopefully, you guys, all guys can explain how does it work, the master or what not. So let us see.
Santosh, the computation of how much of resources available on each of those worker nodes is done by the API server, yeah, from what I understand.
That is because the compute resource will verify. He will send a report to. There is one code I told you, no. There is one project which will responsible for verifying the health check of your worker node, the node lease. Okay, so
Yeah.
this will always because kubelet every worker node has compute resource will be available, right? There is metrics will be there, monitoring classes, I will tell you. So kubelet will inform I have this many information, and those the data will be API server will collect those data, and those data he will give it you scheduler that this node has this many capacity. So it makes you plan accordingly whenever new guys will come to ask you to deploy, right?
So,
Yeah.
so what you're saying is the lease,
Yeah, leads.
the lease services or the lease subsystem would take care of
Lead,
your.
yes, Lead is one of the project where you have installed, will be taking care your that node health check, node size, or node utilization, CPU, memory, those things you will check monitoring of your the worker node.
Okay,
But if
okay.
you check the health check report, those things will be there will be you need to install metrics, Kibana or Elastic, Grafana. Those things will be there. You should get a like dashboard. You can monitor your cluster when how the utilization is happening. Based on the utilization, you can add a new node.
Just like we used to have this metrics in OpenShift.
Exactly, exactly. Same
Okay,
thing.
okay,
Here, Kubernetes also metrics only.
okay.
Okay. So,
One
guys,
one
let's
last thing,
will.
sir. One last thing. Okay. In that Docker class, we've seen that Docker file. So in that only we can change, or if we want to add some data from the local machine to image, so we can do it. But in kubectl new, if we are doing, so how we can take?
That I told you, know that question should comes when whenever it comes to storage part. Okay, that is called the host port will be the local host. That means you need to create an PV and PVC. So it will take the storage states from your worker node. So that will be the questions is good, but that I can give answer whenever I start a storage class. Right?
Fine, sir. Take.
Okay, so guys, whatever we have discussed, that is fine. So let us see, try to complete the demo part right now. So this is very important to deploying your application through deployment. So if I just go to kubectl get port, I can see these are the ports are available. So will I able to delete over here? I'm just trying to, because this is the port, so I can directly delete the port. Let me delete this port. If you delete like this, then you don't need to use and next time trying to delete this as well. So I can give forcefully, gracefully with zero, forcefully try to delete your port. Now, fair enough, guys. I don't have any port running in my project right now. So if I wanted to check which project, so I just use a config get hyphen content command. Will tell you that currently which project I am in test code POC. That is fine. Fair enough. So if you want to deploy your application through deployment, so what is the command to do that? Very simple. So I'll just use kubectl create. Uh, there is a command called deployment command, right? So when you hit enter, it will ask the question, hey, you should give the name of image. So create, what is the image you want to create? First I should give my deployment name, nginx I will give, okay? Then each image you're planning to use, so I'll use image name will be nginx, right? Uh, Fair enough, hit enter. So if I whenever hit enter, so I can see kubectl get port. I have a single port right now. So I told you whenever you deploy a deployment, you will get automatically replication controller will configure. So you can see that get all. So if you want to check deployment, run this command, deployment. If you want to check deployment, get replica set RS, you can see one RS will be there. If you want to check everything single command, then you run get all. All will give you all. Code name, deployment, replica set will be there. So what is over here right now? So right now I have desired state will be one, right? Because while deploy the deployment, if you use deployment, you will get one port, configuration file will be there, replicas. These guys will make sure it will give high availability, scaling, load balance, everything. These guys will taking care. This resource will taking care your application load balancer, right? Load balancer. So if you just wanted to verify over here, describe the code deployment. If I just copy and let me paste over here, hit enter. Sorry, I should give hit enter. So when I give hit enter, it will give you that little more details about deployment file. Same thing you should go with describe itself. So I have only one replica. How can I do multiple replicas? So if I just create kubelet port, so I just want to scaling. So I just do kubectl. Okay. So I told you that there will be no downtime after you deploy your application. Fair enough. So how do I make sure guarantee that one? So for example, if I just do get my configuration file, after you deploy your application, if you're planning to edit anything, you should be go and edit your configuration file of your application. Here my configuration file is nothing but nginx. So I just need to be go inside kubectl and edit. If I go to guys deployment, and what is my deployment name, nginx, hit enter, right? So here if you go to how many number of you can see a lot of information will be there. So where is the replica? So you can see how many replica, one is there, right? I can tell hey, I want to create a file, right? So now if I just save this file, you can see that our first code will not disturb. If you see kubectl get code, you will see that our first code is still running. It is just new code is recreating. That means there is no downtime over here. Nothing is changed. After some time, you will see the status. So you can see the status, the kubectl rollout status of deployment file. Now you can't see your deployment status because it's already success. You can see on this successfully deployed. Let me run it again. Okay. So you can see here successfully deployed only, right? Because your current status is get code. It's already running stages. Now you can see, did anything downtime required here? See, nothing changes, right? Nothing changes. So this was still running, right? And automatically, if you mention 5 replica, it in replica set will update the data. He will say yes, 5. Whenever desired state 5, desired state means customer inform I need 5 replica. What is currently, how many are there? 5. And how many are ready? 5. Everything 5. Always he will make sure these values should be always will try to make it 5, 5, 5.
Sir, now they are running, so now automatically they are communicating with each other.
Yes, or like how they are communicating each other, I will tell you. Okay, don't worry. Don't worry that one how this is going inside. So that is you need to understand Kubernetes basic network. Okay, so the next will be the Kubernetes basic networking concept. So this will be talking to each other always, guys. That's fine, fair enough. So when I create a 5 replica, right? For example, some application guy by mistakenly he will try to delete one port by mistake. Someone he tried to run this command. So directly they will say, hey, my 5, right? So say, how many are there still now? You deleted, right? Automatically also created again. Isn't it not? Some case this code is down. you don't worry, because this will be taken care by your replica set. He will not leave until your 5 should be always there. We always try to recreate until it should be running status, right? So that is this is the product, guys. If you have this kind of facility, you will not get any call in the Saturday Sunday, my application is down, I'm not able to access. This is because our job will be taking care of application controller itself. So that is what we will instruct with our customers. Okay, whenever you are deploying, you should follow with the deployment config. You will get this kind of benefit, right? That is nothing but the beauty product of place replica set. So always you will suppose some you will get one issues. Will say that, hey, can you please making a 10 replica. So okay, what I'll do, instead of editing, I can hit a command kubectl scale -f replica 10. 10, what is the deployment config? You have to give deployment config file while you are scaling, because you have to inform this automatically. This command will updated 5 equal to 10. Now if you see, you will see that 10 code is recreating. Now you can check the status of your what is the status, how it's deploying. If you hit enter that command, he will tell the status. First you're here waiting 7 to 8, he needed 10, so I created 7 is off, then it will go to 8, then next it will go to 9. So this command you can monitor whether your applications are deploying, what is the status of your deployment. Now success means next you should have a 10. You're getting a point, guys?
Santosh, you earlier mentioned about the YAML file. So how this deployment happens with the YAML file? The same way,
Same way,
hyphen
same way.
O.
YAML file I will tell you, okay?
Okay,
YAML
okay,
file
yeah.
I will tell you. Yeah. Same hyphen or YAML you just said it, that will work. So
Santosh, the replicas, in the first case you went and edited the YAML file to put 5, and in the second case you scaled it
through
up
command
to
line, sir. So this also, yeah, this come instead of go and edit, you can go and edit. Next process will be using command line. Also you can directly
But the
hit it.
first
So
time,
automatically,
can you use the command line, or the first time you
no,
want to edit?
it's not like that. Anytime you can use it. There are two ways to make a replica. Either you can go and edit, or you run hit this command.
Okay, okay.
Okay. And now if you go and see your deployment config file, automatically this command will try to update your making replica will be, instead of 5, it should be there 10. So if you hit enter, so if you go to, if I go to my replica here, so let me do that. Okay. So if I want to make it, I don't need 10, like to make it a 3 or 5, then that is also fine. So you can, anytime you can reduce. So whenever you do scale down, now you can think that right now my n number of guys, Saturday and Sunday, the hit will come more, so I need a more replica. Monday will be regular day, so I don't need a, so you can tell Monday make it replica this. So that can be automated if you put it in cron job, so your deployment config file, so that will be taken care of automatically. So now here when you show 10 to 5, it will terminate it. See, it's terminating, but it will not disturb existing current running code, right? See, excellent. What the pen? So this is nothing but how you have to deploy your application through deployment configuration file. If you deploy your application through deployment, what benefit you will get? There will be no downtime, high availability will be there, scaling will be there, load balancer also available. Anytime you can edit your deployment config file without downtime. You can upgrade your application without downtime. Anytime you can roll back to previous step. For example, someone, what they did mistake over here. I'm using Nginx image. What is the version of Nginx image I should use? So let me go back to our Docker here. Just click on Nginx. So click over here. Let me use currently latest means 1.19.0. Let me go back to 1.18.0. I will use 1.18.0. So how do I use? So I'll just use kubectl get mm, get port. I should go with deployment. This is guys. This is called our open application upgrade. Application upgrade is nothing but just taking the version of old one to new one. So in my cases, I'm just doing the latest to old one. That is fine. So what I'll do now, I'll just go to my edit deployment. Deployment file will nginx over here. So I'll just click on guys my image name. So what is my images currently you are using? You are using Nginx. So what I'll do, I will inform, okay, use 1.18.0. 1.18.0. Okay. So that's fine. So what will happen is, so it will try to upgrade, right? So this is called rolling upgrade. So you have mentioned the type is nothing but rolling. The rolling update is nothing but we will do at a time one. That means I have removed that diagram. Okay, here on there is still there. So when I do rolling upgrade, I have 5 replica. So first he will check first he will try to do 1.52. He will just try to do 1.6. So he will check, is it running here? If it's running, then he will try to delete this one. Then it will try, this will call to over here. If this is running, so once this is running, then it will try to delete this one. So again, he will try to call this. If once this is success, then it will try to delete. What will happen when I try to call this to this one? If this is not running, then what will happen? He will inquire, hey, this is not running, don't delete, you continue your job. Then this will fail. Our deployment strategy will fail. He will not going to change next one. So if rolling update also will check if the first pod success, then it will move to next pod. It doesn't mean that rolling update will, if the first pod is image pullback, next also will do image pullback, next also image pullback. That means your application goes down. Then he will directly contact the Kubernetes team. You have informed that the update is happening through rolling upgrade, but my application was down. That is nothing but guys rolling upgrade. So let me see the practical. Let's see the practical what will happen. Now let me, I'm changing 1.18.0, copy this file. Okay, so after you say get port, it will see one by one. See first creating one by one. Once it will success, if you see the status, rollout status, you will see here. Waiting to deploy. See, first he will old replica. First removing the old replica, then new replica. See guys, one by one it will do. Now if you see get port, now see latest update with which images. So if you do kubectl describe port and the port name, if you hit enter, you will see that my image name will be nginx 1.18.0. What the point? How do you see that whether it is a rolling update? You will not feel any downtime. Customer will not feel application goes down because one at a time. So if you see that stages describe deployment, what is the deployment engine? So if you hit enter, see look it here how it did. Look at this one. First one, first it will try to bring down old one. When it will bring down, first 3 replica he will do because we have mentioned 3. After that he will see first second one, first scale up whenever success, right? Second one, then it will removing the old one, right? So whenever success third one, it will deleting this down. Got the point? But some cases, if something goes wrong, for example, what I did next example, I just trying to delete. The first time I am discussing with the command line. Can I do set images through command line? There will one command will be there. kubectl set image. Set image. So let me see. I don't remember command. Then you have to take the help. So you will see here. First, you have to inform what is deployment. So I just mentioned deployment. So our also deployment is this only. So what is the container name? Because we have used our container name is also nginx. Which image you are planning to use? What is the image? I will use nginx colon some images which is not available. So I'll say 8888 some images. But these guys will say try to update it. This will try to update. But what will happen? So get for, right? So if you see now our status, if you see, it will hang. It will hang. He will say 3 out of 5 new replica have been updated, but it's not going moving. It's not moving anything. Now if you see here, get port, so still container creating. Do you have you feel any kind of my container old container deleted? No, right? Still I have same only. But this is showing errors image pool. That means what is this diagram? If first replica fail, he will tell input do not delete, continue, but he will try to replica and it will send errors in his code. But you will not feel any downtime of your current application, and he will not change your current application until this will be success. Then, so in that case, what you need to do, you can check get rollout. Sorry, get okay, rollout I can check history of my rollout, how many time you did. The 3 1 2 3 will be there, but whatever changes I didn't fill because the commands is not recording, because I didn't inform to my Kubernetes that whatever changes I am doing, please record. Is because I did not mention any time record, right? Let me will see later. But in this case, what I need to do, I will say, hey, this application is not the when. Let me go back to my previous older application. Then what I'll do, I'll just mention kubectl rollout undo. I'll just mention undo deployment file. So it will see that previously whatever there, let it be live. That one only. It will not going to touch anything. He will just try to whatever it was there, it will this one only, guys. See, there will be no downtime.
Can't you see in the logs while this is happening? You can't see the logs or
you can see kubectl log. You can see now. I forget to run that command.
yeah,
You can check.
to ask you to see what's happening in the logs or in the events. Yeah.
Yes, you can check that. That is called troubleshooting. So if you wanted to do me again, you can do that way. So
No problem, no problem. Yeah.
Ashwin? Okay, thank you. So whenever, because I know that for the practical demo, I have seen the error image pull back off because of the image is not pulling from. So image is not, I can see, hey, mine is not happening. So I will go back to my older version, whatever there. You just need to go to that undo. Undo will be, guys, whatever changes you did, it will roll out that one. These are the nothing but strategy of your rolling upgrade deployment config file. So if you have a application with deployment, and you will get this kind of facility you will get. Hopefully everybody clear this diagram and the practical demo,
Yes.
guys.
Yes, sir. Sir, one thing.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
There is in the screen only rollout history there. Okay. On the upper side, there is 3 images are trying to upgrade. Error image pool is coming. Okay. So, but there only on the top only 4 images are already running. So here also should be 4, right?
No. See, first 4 was running, right?
Yeah.
First 4 he will try to do deploy, because first is failing. Then next is did not touch anything. Why it is 5? Because I should have kubectl get rs. I should have 5 replica.
Yeah, but here it's showing error for 3 images only. It should be come for 5 only, right?
No, not like that. How it will 5? Because it's failed. No, if it did fail, it will not move on the next one. Okay. Here only it will stop, because if it did fail this, right, it will not go on the next thing. It will say, hey, this is failed, man. You go and go. You let it be this. We will stop your. That is what I can see. Whenever I run here rollout status, right, it's hanging down. Nothing is doing anything. It's hanging because it's not moving your task itself. right? Suppose somebody asks a question when I do history, these are the revision number. 3 times you have deployed your application, 3 times you changes your application. But what are the changes you did? But that information is not happening over here. For example, so what I do over here now, so kubectl get all will be there. So I'm just trying to kubectl um, hyphen scale hyphen replica, make it 0. If I do make it 0 means obviously your application will be making it 0, right? So we will try to delete everything. Don't think that because you have informed replica make it 0, that is your mistake. Okay, we can't say mistake of Kubernetes always making a 5. So because you have mentioned 0, so it will try to terminate everything. As soon as if you mention again making a 1 or 2 whatever, again it will try to create one more for continuously. So if you just even if you downtime, right, number of just few second or millisecond down, pick up every time to just recreate your application again. But the
So
problem is which I'm facing over here is guys. So I'm just cleaning my. Let me clean my everything of my delete all. Shall I delete all? So you don't do delete all hyphen instance. Okay. So when you don't delete all hyphen all, it will clean everything your project. All the resources will try to clean. So at a time, if you want to delete 4 replica set deployment, so you can run this command. Now, if you run kubeset get 4 get all, nothing is there. Your project is completely empty. But don't run again hyphen all instance. Then you will pick out from your office.
One more thing is there. Is it possible, like, suppose we have 5 replicas, okay? So is it possible we can upgrade one only and we can test it is working fine or not?
That is doing OpenShift only now, right? So anytime you can roll back all the older version, right?
No, my point is, sir, first of all, OpenShift I am not friendly with it. Second is, suppose 5 is there for testing purpose in real time. If we are deploying, okay, so if we want to check it out, like 5.5 to 5.6 if we are moving. So is it possible we can upgrade one?
No, the one you can't do. So for the testing, for example, if you are in 5.5 and if you are moving to 5.6 and 5.6 upgrade you did and customer will complain, hey, 5.6 application is not good for me, please move back to 5.5. That can be do through undo. But you cannot do testing for one by one. That will take care of OpenShift. But if you feel sometime, hey, 5.6 not working, is it possible to go back to my older version? Yes, you can go back that one. But now this time, guys, I'm doing some different way to deploying the application with YAML format. So what I'll do, I'll just create deployment. I'll just give Redis is my application. Redis or application. Then I'll use image name will be Redis. Okay. Then here I'll say try run. Don't execute. I should get the deployment config file. Right. So I'll say deployment YAML, and here I'll set Redis Redis latest .yml. So now I will get it Redis file, Redis latest. So why do you need this command? In your exam, there will be questions will be there. Deploy application. In your exam, always he will ask you deploy application through Nginx only. Okay, with different scenario with different project. So they will ask you to deploy, create Nginx deployment for application name will be this, and image name will be this, and they will say replica 5 replica. So how do you do that? So first I will get a YAML file. I will edit that file. Customer and as per the question is asking 5 replica. Then what I'll do guys? I'll just making a 5 replica file, right? So I'll save this file, right? So directly I can do create -f. That's file name Redis -latest. And whenever you are going to do, I will tell, hey, please record all the things. Please make a record. right? Now you can see here kubectl get pods. This is one way to deploying your application at a time 5 replicate, because initially you make it 1 replicate, then you need to run a command. But instead of doing that one, this is one easy way to make it edit and file 5. Now you can see 5 is there. Got the point? So now I will go and see what is my Redis images available. So I'll see I want to upgrade. So I want to upgrade my Redis. So I'll just go to 5.0.9, right? So what I'll do is I'll just do kubectl set image. This is upgrade because changing the image, either you can change CLI mode and graphical mode. Doesn't matter.
Command will work.
Sorry. You can do edit command and set images command. Okay. So deployment, I'll say.
But you can directly modify the YAML file as well and deploy it, right? Because
Excellent.
now and then you cannot deploy use image, right? There will be some other parameters as well, right?
Okay, so in your exam, there is a question. They will ask you to upgrade one version to another version, and while you upgrade, please record as well. Okay, because if you do directly edit your deployment config file, you can't record. So I'll tell you what is the record will help you, right? So let me see set image. Let me see, guys. Get deployment. kubectl set image. Deployment file will do this. And what is my deployment file? And deployment file will be, this is my deployment file. Okay, so I can give deployment file will be this. What is my container name? Container name will be Redis. Which image you're planning to use? 5.0. So I'll say image name will be Redis colon 5.0.9. So I'll go 5.0.9. And please, whatever changes you're doing, make a record. I just mentioned. So now, if you see, therefore, it will be rolling upgrade. If it is success, then delete, then recreating. Success, delete, recreating. Every time it will do. So now, even if you also check kubectl rollout status, your deployment file, it will tell you that what is the status of my application. So it's success. That means the code is running fine. Okay. Now, if you run this command here, last time I had run a command history. Now, if you run history of your deployment, so now you can see, look at here. The revision changes. Also, it's making a record. Whatever commands you're doing, you have to record. First, you have deployed the application through using this. Second time, you have run a command to changing this image to this. This is nothing but whatever changes you will record equal to true. So this will help you to little understand, because customer also, whenever they are doing changes, customer also make a record, so that whatever changes happening with my application, anytime I can change it. Fair enough. Is that fine, all of you? What record will give you the options?
So if we could edit the YAML file and deploy it, so how you use the same edit command or use create command to deploy it?
Okay, if you use edit command, I mean, if you want to change the image name, edit, right? This field will show blank. Okay, that this report will not give.
No. If YAML file is edited with the latest image, so what command I will use to deploy it?
Create only, no?
So, okay, so for updating via, if the file is
okay,
updated with the YAML,
okay, you are asking directly updating via file, right?
Oh,
file. That you can do apply command.
Apply, okay.
Yeah. So for example, his question is, you have taken already backup, right? So because while deploying, I have written Redis latest image file. Yes or no? You have changed image Redis, latest was there. Now you wanted to change some images called over here. Some image, I want to go back to 6. Redis image will be 6.0.0.5. Okay. This you wanted to update again to your cluster. existing definition file. So you can use kubectl apply -f that file itself. So this will say my application is up and running, but I have modified my YAML file. Whatever changes I have modified YAML file, same things should be updated to my current configuration file. So this commands also can be you can do. Now
We
in
can use
system,
record here, right? In that
yeah,
hyphen
yeah,
hyphen record.
yeah. You can use record as well, but already I have hit enter without record. Okay. So this all is guys about your deployment, how to deploy application in Kubernetes with the code, deployment, replica set, those things. So anybody has any questions?
Yes,
I will just
back
take
to
it from now.
basics. One question is,
Please, sir, please
when
ask me.
you're updating the pod, okay, for and say you're changing the image or something, and some other process is running, and the updates happen, and the rollout happens, or you're terminating it. So the existing processes will be affected, isn't it?
No, nothing will be impacted because see, whenever you are doing rollout things, right, you should inform to application team, hey guys, I am doing rollout, so do not any don't give any update to your application. But I can accessible my application. Customer end user can access, but don't edit anything, don't give push everything, right? So in that particular time, you just change it. So they will not impact. So customer will not see any downtime also because application is up and running and you will get some new features there.
Okay, yeah, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So I have taken backup of whatever screen backup where it was there. Document, deployment. So they say whole whatever commands I have executed for till morning to today evening. So today it's already about 4. So sorry guys, I'm taking little late for taking your breakfast, lunch.
That's okay. Sir, can you change the name of this file? Like
Yeah, as I mentioned, you change it
in
after you just mention a deployment so I can identify
that
today,
fine.
and it's also date. Its date will be there 28, so you don't worry
Cool,
about it. I will send it
cool,
that file stream. Okay.
cool, cool.
So yes, today I just because the 3:30, so you can have your lunch and please do the practice. So the questions will be for deployment chapter. Questions will be they will ask you one questions related to deployment. The questions will ask you to deploy um, deploy. So whenever they ask to deploy, you should use kubectl create command. When they ask to create a pod means you have to use in kubectl run command. Okay. So please keep this two commands. So whenever they mention create deployment and call Redis Redis and use image name will be image name will be sorry image name will be Redis some in version they will give. I will give some image version which is available currently 6.0.5 images. This is one question, and make sure and replica should be and 5 replica. So you have two ways to deploy this question. First, you can run kubectl create deployment. Let me first run the command so that I copy paste. So kubectl create deployment syntax, and what is I asking for here? I'm asking and Redis. So I'll go for Redis. Then what is the images I have to use? So they have mentioned image name should be Redis 6.0.5. So always you just need to copy paste even your exam time also. Do not type. So this is fair enough. You can do this way. This is one method. Hit enter. Okay, Redis is already there. That is fine. So I'll go for Redis 123. Okay, example. So next they are asking to make a 5 replica. So I just need to find out what is my replica, and I can directly use over here. So kubectl get deployment. So my deployment I have mentioned Redis 123. So what I'll do, kubectl scale hyphen replica 5 replica, and what is the configuration file? So deployment name. So deployment name will be this slash. This is one. So now you can see kubectl get port Redis. So you can see here the 5 Redis ports are here. This is one question. This is a question you will get it from your exam. It's the same questions you will get this. Whatever changes will be there, I will make a change. This is one thing you will get.
Name this file. This file.
Okay. You will get one questions. So what I'll do, I will whatever questions I have created. So I just post you, and as well I will create one file for the question. Yes, you will get architecture diagram. Don't worry. So we forget to send this the PPT file which we are using. So today we will send it that PPT files to everybody. So this is the question. So before wind up, do you have any questions? So hopefully we are clear to the session. So hopefully you have learned some few things today.
No, Santosh, I'm clear.
Thank you, thank you so much for
Thanks, Santosh.
attending to this class. So
Thank you.
I will share this documentation. So I'm going to end right now. Again, everyone has office tomorrow. So once you have get time, so please do little practice. So even I have office tomorrow, I have to get ready. So I will share you all the documentation, guys. If it's a little late, so I will share you all the document once I have time. So I will ask you what to share right away once you give me some lunch. I'll send it to you. So there are some disturbance yesterday. People have some questions. Why do you give feedback for every class? So I understand you guys are concerned. So because these course guys want to take feedback for every class. So what I told to them, you should take first day class feedback, and once completed the training, and by end you have taken one more feedback. And this is up to you. If you are not understand, if you are not getting, you reach out to me. If you have any issues, if I'm not giving answer, you can give feedback to anyone that I'm not clearing your doubt also. So that is up to you guys. So please, those who are not given feedback, please submit today. And those already gave, thank you very much for valuable feedback. So hopefully if you have any kind of issues during the training, you can directly give a straight answer. So don't worry, we are here to help you, and we'll try to give you the full support as we are trying our best.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks,
really good. Thank you.
thanks, Santosh. It was really nice session
Thanks,
today.
thanks, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you
Santosh.
so
Thank
much,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you very
just
much.
waiting for those did not give any feedback. So kindly submit feedback. Spend 2 minutes. Thank you. Bye bye, guys.
I